What up, you guys? Empress of Duality here. My name is Brooke. For those of you that are new, welcome to the channel. Happy full moon in Taurus tonight, or is it? I'm not gonna lie, I am sensing some hardcore energy dynamics tonight, and we're gonna get into them. We're gonna get into it. I am interested myself to see what spirit brings through, because I was feeling really intense energy all day today as it was, but once I actually started to tune in consciously to the full moon in Taurus, to this partial lunar eclipse, once I started to tap into the collective a little bit, it amplified dramatically once I started tapping in. So I'm interested to see what messages come through from spirit tonight, what energy they want to warn us about, what energy they want to update us about, hopefully maybe give us a little insight into whatever is going on with the energy tonight. You're not late, baby, I just started. But anyways, welcome everybody back to the channel. When you come in, please take a moment, just a moment, to look down and hit that like button when you come in. It really helps out the channel. So first off, before we get into whatever the heck is going on with the energy tonight, I first want to say thank you to everyone that showed up to my birthday party last night. It was incredible, you guys. Like, I'm blown away. Honestly, I am blown away at how much fun it was. Like, we had so much fun together last night, from the dancing to me performing my rap song that I wrote, opening presents, and the twin flame trivia was so much fun. And we actually had 3 different winners: first place, second place, third place. And Elizabeth took first place. She was number 1 on the leaders board for like the whole game. And she ended up taking first place, and she got a free personal reading of her choice. She could choose between the tarot decks or a free reading, and she chose the free reading. And then the Nooch from the Matrix Unveiled, he came in second place, and he got the 5 Agreements game. He got the 5 Agreements game, and then, or was he third place? I don't know, second or third. And then my other winner was Emily, and she got the Starman Tarot Deck Collector's Edition. So yeah, we had a lot of fun last night. It was incredible. Oh, Danny, my beloved twin flame, thank you, baby, for all that you did last night to make my dream come true. It was definitely the best birthday I have ever had. But anyways, I want to keep this stream focused, because I really want to know what is going on. Okay, so when I tap into the energy, anyways, let's get started. Let's get it popping. Let's see what spirit wants to bring through for us tonight to give us a little bit of clarity with what's going on. So what up, spirit? What do we need to know about this full moon in Taurus? What it's going to bring, maybe what it's triggering. Let's get started. One of the first things I was feeling when I tapped into the collective was just a crazy amount of amplified emotion. Just this magnitude of charged emotion. So much so, the emotional charge that I'm feeling in the air tonight, when I was tapping in, the emotional charge that I was feeling from the collective almost made me like butterflies in my stomach, where it just feels so, I don't know how to describe it other than just fucking charged, y'all. It's so charged. It's so magnetic, where like I even feel like my hands are shaking. Like, it's so palpable, the energy. And if you have not felt that, I want to invite you to feel in to this full moon in Taurus. Feel in to this lunar eclipse energy. I feel triggered in my body. So let's say, to kind of give you an example of how it feels when I'm tuning into the collective right now. You know that feeling when you get really, really bad news and your stomach drops, right? It's just like that hardcore boom when you hear that bad news and your stomach drops and you get the butterflies and like the adrenaline rush. That's what it is. It's not the charge. That there is a charge, but it's just this adrenaline rush. That's what it feels like. It feels like they're showing me this vision from a movie where I can't make out the movie that they're showing me, but there is this movie where someone's DNA gets Spider-Man. Thank you, Spirit. The movie Spider-Man, when he gets bit by the spider and the venom's going into his body and you can see his DNA, the double helix, right? You see his DNA just fucking shred to pieces, right? And I'm sorry if I'm like talking really hyped up. It's the fucking energy, y'all. It's crazy in here right now. So in Spider-Man, they show you his DNA and the double helix is spinning, but then all of it kind of just burns away. Y'all remember that? Where it's literally like the venom is coursing through his veins, and now they just showed me Twilight. Okay. I got you, Spirit. Twilight. When Kristen, whatever her name, Bella, is on the table, she just died, right? After giving birth to her kid. Giving birth to the kid killed her. And Edward has to go and he's biting her all over the place, right? And his venom is going into her body. And it's literally just, it fries her whole genetic makeup. Y'all feeling this? It fries her whole genetic makeup and literally just transforms her whole DNA structure into something completely different, right? And that's what I'm seeing right now. Just in the movie, they show the venom just coursing through her veins and just breaking down everything that she once was, killing it, murdering herself, basically, and she's being reborn, right? That's what the energy feels like right now. My stomach, it just feels like my stomach keeps dropping. Just boom, my stomach drops. Boom, my stomach drops. And like there's all this adrenaline, but mainly that feeling of the frequency coming from the moon, penetrating my DNA and restructuring my genetics. That's what it feels like. If you could imagine being that DNA strand when she gets bit and the venom's coursing through her body, if you could imagine being that DNA that's being burned alive and reconfigured and transformed into something else, what that would feel like being burned alive, right? Crazy. So let's see what else comes through. Interesting. What's up, the nooch? Energy's nuts tonight, that's for sure. For real. For real, for real. So what I'm getting with the whole image of, the Twilight thing where Bella has just given birth to her kid And if you've not seen that movie, I can't believe you haven't seen that movie, but just in case you haven't, a little recap. When she's giving birth to this kid, she fights for it. Everyone wants her to abort the kid because it's literally killing her from the inside out. She goes from being healthy, beautiful, you know, completely fine to all of a sudden she's just fucking skin and bones. Her cheeks are sucked in. She's lifeless, right? She becomes lifeless, creating this life inside of her. And I feel like that is a connotation of what we've kind of been going through as a collective, right? Where it's not just a normal birthing season, right? It's not just the run of the mill having a kid and the normal contractions and pains and growing pains that come from a normal gestation period. It's not just like the normal pain of having a baby, right? No, it's not like that. It's not been like that. At least if you're on this channel, I can see, other people, they got their own journeys. But it's time that I really tune into my own frequency, my own journey, the people that are connecting with me, and I speak to us. So if this doesn't resonate for you, there is another channel out there that is for you. But we gotta talk. We gotta start talking about what is really coming through, right? Instead of trying to please everybody. Spirits told me there is a direct group of souls, Brooke, that you need to start speaking to. And I'm just making it clear right now for anybody that stumbles upon this video and maybe this ain't the space for you, right? If it doesn't resonate. But I have to speak to my people, and I'm going to. Because there are people that are traveling the same journey as me. And I have keys and codes and transmissions and directions to where we're going. And if I don't show up and talk about it and give them these keys, we're a team. And I gotta do my part on this team, right? So anyways, I don't know where that came from. Apparently it needed to be said, but see, can't make this shit up. And maybe that is a message for someone that's watching this. There are things that you are going through right now, beautiful soul. Eye contact with you. There are things that you are going through that you're not talking about, that you don't believe. There are miracles that are happening inside of you that you're either too afraid to look at. What part of your purpose are you running from because you're so fucking scared? And I'm not giving you a spanking right now, okay? But there's some things that you've been going through. There's a journey that you've been on. There is wisdom and keys and codes and frequencies that you hold, that you're holding on to, and they are actually killing you from the inside out because you're not meant to hold on to them anymore. You are meant to get up here and give your message. You're meant to get up here and be a team player and share what you're going through, what's going on, because you keep holding it in and you keep pushing it down and you keep not believing in yourself or thinking that you have anything that anybody gives a fuck to listen to. But you know what I can tell you? The more that you step into being authentic, regardless of anyone else's validation, the better you will feel, the more you will stop suffering, and the more you will start to attract the people that you are destined to serve, destined to journey with. Okay? Somebody needed that message. So let me see what y'all are saying. Hey, Elizabeth, what's up, love? There's a #1 winner right there, y'all. And we got the Nooch in the house. He won too. But anyways, I'm gonna keep it focused. There's like two versions that I'm seeing right now. And I'm seeing this one version, this one aspect of you, of me, of us, that it literally looks like. Do you remember in Harry Potter, Voldemort, when he doesn't even have a body, right? There's this one scene when he's being resurrected where he's literally just like this ugly fucking, like it looks like a bird's, like a dead baby bird, right? And he's just like this head with like a little backbone tail thing is what he looks like, right? That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing like this one version of the collective, of you, of me, of us, that represents this. What do we want to call it, spirit? Power. Right? When you look at Voldemort, when you look at him barely being alive right before he's resurrected, this ugly, disgusting, some would even say demonic version of yourself, version of us. But if we take away the judgment about that version of ourselves, if we look at Voldemort without any of the stories, right? You don't know who he is. Your mind's wiped. You have no idea what he's done. You have no idea what his plans are for the future. All you can see when you look at Voldemort, because you have no memory of who he is or what he's done, all you can see when you look at that version of you is not your past, not your trauma, not your pain. All you can see when you take all of that off is your power. That's all that it really is. But some of us are afraid of that power. They've conditioned us to be afraid of that power. They tell us it's demonic. They make fun of us, right? You're a tarot reader. You do energy work. You believe in Christ consciousness. You think you got magic. You think you're a witch. You're a joke. That's what they call you. You're a fucking joke. And they laugh. Push you deeper and deeper into this cage inside of yourself. What is it gonna take to light that cage on fire with that version of yourself in it and fucking just light that bitch up? And when you light that bitch up, you know what's gonna happen? Let's go back to the first vision. That DNA shift, that cellular shift. On a cellular level, you're shifting, you're integrating, you're releasing, you're activating, you're powering up, you're recharging, right? I keep hearing it over and over in my head. What part of your purpose are you running from because you're so fucking scared? Let's take me, for example, last night. Getting up there and dancing, and you can see my whole body, right? It's not just my head up. You can see my whole body. That's vulnerability, right? You could even see sensual parts of my body, sexual parts of my body, right? What happens when you show yourself in that way, right? The body is so misconstrued. The image of the body is so misconstrued. But when you show those vulnerable parts of yourself, right, and the intimacy kicks up a little bit, that's where you found your power. That's where you find your confidence to be authentic. And it's not easy. For those of you that are on this journey, for those of you that have found this video, it's not always going to be easy. And if you didn't watch the video that I did, that is, when do you let your shadow have a voice? We went over some boundaries for this channel. I am not someone that's going to be positivity, love, and light all the time, because that's not my journey. There are other people on YouTube that maybe their journey is all love and light. Maybe it is positive and joyful and blissful all the time for them, but that's not my journey. That's not my truth. And I can't serve my purpose if I'm not 100% about the shit that I go through and about the duality of who I am. And it was hard to get up here to show my body because people judge that, right? It was hard to get up here and let loose, not wear any kind of a mask, y'all. I didn't have any mask on last night. I didn't have any kind of a mask on in the video I did when I allowed my shadow to have a voice. How often do you let your shadow have a voice? When do you let the powers of the ego that you've been taught are wrong or evil, when do you let them guide you to empower you? Because that's why they're there. Your anger, your grief, your sadness, those are all powers of the ego that can empower you. But are you too afraid to harness that tool? Are you too afraid to harness that weapon? That gift? Because this journey that we're on, you need your weapon sometimes. And like I said, if this doesn't resonate with you, there are other people that you can find that may be more aligned with your journey. But in my journey, 222, in my journey, the shit that I do, the grids that I tap into and clean the fuck up, I need my weapons. I'm not going in there defenseless. I'm going in there to fucking win, to empower myself and to empower other beautiful beings that have been trapped, that have been deceived. And where I come from, the things that we are asked to do sometimes, you have to be equipped to play the fucking game. And are you ready to play the game, right? I don't think a lot of people understand what they have signed up for. Spirit wants to talk about that. You're awakened, right? And in the beginning of our journeys, we're getting all these downloads, right? Our energy is activated, our soul remembrance is activated, our purpose is activated, and it's a lot of beauty, right? Because you're shown in the magic of the universe is revealed to you. But as you continue on that path, as you continue down that road, not only do you witness the magic, but you witness the suffering of humanity. And not only do you witness the suffering of humanity, but you have to see your part in it. And if you think that you don't have a part, you're not on the right track. Because this is something that we created together. If you think that you are just some starseed light being that came here to save the planet and you have no responsibility for where it's at right now, we're not on the same journey. We don't come from the same tribe. Because I am willing to take responsibility for this world that we created. And a lot of the times in the beginning of our journey, we don't realize that, sure, you get to see the magic, you get to see your power. But there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of hurt There's a lot of battles that you're going to have to face. And you can't win all of those battles with a little love and light, baby. I know that they've told you that love is the most powerful energy that exists, and that is true. However, they neglected to tell you that when you use a force, say anger, because when you use the force of anger to express yourself, to in battle, to protect yourself, maybe even as a weapon, to put boundaries in place with people that are overstepping their boundaries, your boundaries. When you use that energy and it's anger, right? We don't think that's love. But when you use that from an aligned state of being to empower yourself, when you use anger to speak your truth, when you use anger to say, no, you're not gonna fucking treat them that way, when you use your anger to protect someone, that is love in its truest form. And just because it looks like anger, right? There's something Spirit is trying to get me to say. When it comes to this full moon in Taurus, what's interesting is with the lunar eclipse, the eclipses will show hidden behaviors, hidden ways we sabotage ourselves. And sometimes, maybe some of you, sabotage yourself or run away from your purpose because you're hiding the very part of you that you need to harness to empower yourself or to empower someone else. So I'm gonna look at the chat real quick, and I'm gonna let Spirit tune the channel for me. It was a crazy intense game. It was intense. I thought it was so much fun though. Oh my God, I loved it. Collective shadow is hideously ugly. Not even sugarcoat it. Their physical reality. So here's the thing though. I can't say they, y'all. I can't say the collective shadow is ugly. I can't honestly say the collective shadow is ugly. I can't honestly say that their reality is the real joke. I can't say that because it's us. It's a we thing. We are unity consciousness, and I can't exclude them. Even though I'm not in their body living their life is mine. My life is theirs. And they serve a very valuable purpose here. If it was not for the hideous, as we call it, how would we know what to create, y'all? Think about it. If it was not for such contradicting energies being present on the planet, how would we even know our purpose? How would we know what we need to create? So when I look at those people, I don't separate myself from them because I see myself in them, and I see a version of me that chose, instead of being able to be the empowered, beautiful soul that you see in front of you, I see a version of me that chose, you know what? I will sacrifice some of my rights. I'll forget how powerful I am. I'll even play in some of the nastiest grids that are on planet Earth. I will become it. I will be it. Some people that we think we're the courageous ones. But some of the souls that chose to go and live on the contradicting side so that we could see what doesn't work, I feel for them, because some of them have gotten stuck there, y'all. Some of them have been so traumatized. And we think that we're the one doing the service because we're the one bringing the light. But I have to honor those souls, because I've only played in really nasty grids. I've only played in addiction grids, played in narcissism, played in betrayal and this and that and abuse, right? I've only played in those things. Some of those souls have become it, are living it now. Why? So that we had a chance. They said, you know what? Okay, I'll go and be this murderer. I'll go and be this fucked up, corrupt government. I'll go and be the person that takes this jab so that people can see what's really going on this planet. I'll do that. That is fucking love, y'all. That is love if I've ever seen it. And I have to honor those beautiful souls, because right now, I can feel them, man. I can feel the centuries of trauma, of suffering, of abuse, man, of just... I can feel that adrenaline starting to rush through my body again. Because it's like they're in these fight and flight modes all the time. Fight, flight, and freeze. And that takes a toll on the soul. It does. When you are incarnated in these grids, in these lifestyles that are death culture. Because that's the service that you chose for humanity. I'm going to live in this death culture, and I'm going to become it, and I'm going to be it, so that these beautiful fucking light workers, my teammates, because we're all on the same team, my teammates can see what's not working. I'll be the example. I'll be the contrast. Let that be my service. Don't let me fucking down, y'all. Don't forget. Don't forget that I'm family, y'all. I know that in this life it looks like it's me against you, but we're unity consciousness, and don't forget that I'm fucking family, y'all. That's what I'm hearing. And that's beautiful. But I think we need to remember that sometimes. Because as light worker, we dip into our shadow, right? But then there comes a point on this journey where in the beginning it's love and light, and then you evolve and you're stepping into the shadow a little bit here and there, and then you get to a point where that shadow that you're stepping into, you realize that it's not personal to you at all. And the fact that you thought that the shadow had anything to do with you personally was really self-absorbed and just not an evolved state of being. Because you get to a point in this journey where my shadow is really our shadow, and we're all taking bits and pieces of our shadow consciousness. We're all digging in and taking little different pieces, and some of it looks like mine and some of it looks like yours, but it's ours, and we're all picking up the pieces and restructuring and dismantling and rebuilding, and we're all on the same fucking team. So let's go back. Spirit's bringing me back to when we talked about that version of you that looks like Voldemort, right? That they just threw in the fucking, not a pot. It is a pot, like that witch's big ass pot thing, and then he's reborn. There's like that version of you, nasty, ugly. You think it's gross. And I'm seeing. So what was it? Full moon in Taurus, partial lunar eclipse. What part of yourself have you been running from? What part of your purpose have you been running from because you're so fucking scared? You know, it's interesting. You will find so many different perspectives on light workers, on empaths, on healers, on energy workers. And they all talk about this unity consciousness, right? This oneness, this harmony, balance. But it's just so interesting to me. If that is such a powerful message, and it's gotta be, look at all the people that continue to explore it, right? Then how come we find so many people that separate themselves? Wonder what would happen. I wonder what would happen if we started to look at those different versions, the people that you think are different than you, that are demonic or negative or different being than you are, a reptilian or whatever, you know. Because there's like this whole thing where it's like, okay, well, you know, I'm not even from this planet, or, you know, other beings from other planets had come here and the planet's, you know, taken over by these kind of people and these kind of people. And, you know, even if I am at one with my light beings or my tribe or your version and perception of what unity consciousness is. I think it's funny though, because they say unity consciousness, but what does that only apply to your perspective of what that is? Meaning, okay, so let's say you are a starseed from Minticon. So does your unity consciousness only apply to the people that are from Minticon like you? Because my unity consciousness refers to unity fucking consciousness. I don't give a shit if you're another being. I don't give a shit if you're from another planet. I don't give a shit if you're another color, another species, another plant, another multiverse. My unity consciousness is straight up unity consciousness. And I refuse to separate myself from that, because if I do, I will never understand myself. Every time I block out a part of someone else because I think they're different from me, I think they're separate from me, I lose a valuable journey of exploring what this version of our unity consciousness, this version of our consciousness can show me. Because a lot of the times when spirit brings me someone that is such a contradiction to my beliefs about myself, beliefs about the planet, when I surrender to it and I allow myself to go on the journey of witnessing, of observing this beautiful soul, most of the time they give me a tool that empowers me to help someone else along the way, or gives me a tool to integrate more deeply into a higher vibration, a higher frequency. And it goes the same way with you and your shadow, with you and your limiting beliefs, with you and your negative emotional response patterns, you and your thought forms, you and the streams of consciousness that you tap into. You block it out or you separate yourself from it. It becomes hidden, right? And the full moon in Taurus with the partial eclipse is all about revealing what is hidden, especially when it comes to behaviors, right? Especially with that Taurus energy. So I want to switch off of that message for a little bit because I can feel that there's another message that wants to come through. So if I have to go back to that one, I will, but I want to tap into what this other message is here. Sometimes it's too hard to admit, to see the truth. Sometimes it's too hard to admit. Because what are you saying, spirit? Hold on. What are y'all saying? You will always see separation where you're not willing to admit the truth. You will always see separation where you're not willing to explore the truth. You will always feel a trigger when you're not willing to surrender to the journey. Okay, what else? You will always see the enemy. Ooh, what was that one? You will always see an enemy where there is a friend, where you are not healed from within. What? You will always. You will always see a foe where there is friend when you are running from the shadow within. You will always see a foe where is a friend when you are running from the shadow within. You will always see a foe where there is friend when you're running from the shadow within. Okay. I knew there was something there. Interesting. Very interesting. It's funny because I want to share with you guys. Danny, are you here? Do you mind if I share a little bit about our experience earlier with the full moon energy and the whole thing that went down? Not like, do you mind if I share a little bit of that? Wow, Kimberly. Wow. Okay, so let's. I'm expecting or assuming that as I share this experience that Danny and I had earlier today, that Spirit's gonna fill us in somehow. And I'm going on the journey with y'all, right? Like, I just channel some shit and then it unfolds right before my eyes, just as it does for you. So, and I would like to say, take a second and drop a like. Hey, Lauren, what's up, beautiful? I just seen you in there, if you're still here. What's up, love? So I don't think I'm going to stay on too much longer, but I kind of want to lean in to whatever Spirit's talking about. You will always see a foe where there is friend when you are running from the shadow within. Ooh, Jesus? That's you? Oh shit, y'all. Jesus just showed up. Okay. Ooh, you always make me nervous. Yes, Jesus? Like, what's up? Jesus does speak to me that way sometimes, in like little rhymes. Okay, so let's roll with it. Let's roll with it. I'd like to command my ego to step aside and allow my higher self to guide to transmit this message, please. Opening up a safe and sacred channel for this message to flow. Unplugging for many of the other streams of consciousness that I have tapped into, and plugging in and securing the channel to Jesus and what he is trying to communicate in the space. Siatai na waiziate, siatai na mawaziate shu. Ayasai dia nawa. Iasai dia nawani asiate se. Ayasai ia nai na mawai iasai na wa. Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna go into the story and I'll let Spirit unfold this shit because I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know what's happening. I'm just going on a journey. Who wants to ride? Y'all trying to hop in? Y'all trying to take a ride with Jesus? What's good? Okay. So let's see. Earlier today, after the amazing night that we had last night for my birthday, the most interesting thing happened, and it happens a lot of the time. Danny and I notice that every time we step into a really, really, really aligned version of ourselves, the next day, immediately after, boom, there's this hardcore fucking trigger. No bullshit. It has happened so many times that like we began to pick up on it, right? We're like, when we started our mentorship, first time we went live on YouTube, or when we go live and we do like a really high vibe live stream forecast or whatever, it always seems like when we tap into a more potent potential of frequency, when we start pulling it through and channeling it through, there's this trigger that happens like the day after or a little bit after. And it's not just like a little trigger either. It's like yesterday was so high vibe. My birthday party was lit. We were having fun. It was crazy lit, right? And it was such a beautiful manifestation and co-creation of Danny and I's union energy. That's what it was. It was me taking the most authentic, raw, vulnerable parts of myself, and Danny taking, you know, his fucking creativity, his talents, his skills, merging those, bringing those two energies together, and some of them completely complementary, some of them completely, you know, dualistic in nature. but coming together with all of these variations of vibrations and creating co-creating such a harmony in unity consciousness, in a union frequency, right? And when we step into those really aligned, authentic versions of ourselves, something interesting happens. It may be the day after, it may be a week, it may be a month. But this trigger happens where you fall into this experience of a completely contradicting energy to what you were just tapping into. So if you're tapping into this hardcore union, right? Which is what Danny and I did. Tapping into that union energy, channeling it, expressing it, becoming it, right? Straight up union, co-creating in harmony, in balance. When you step into that harmony within yourself, what happens is eventually you'll fall into an experience, you'll be led into an experience where you're going to witness the complete polarity of that energy, right? You step into union. What is the not identical, but completely contradicting energy to union? Separation, right? And if you step into maybe just a little bit of union, maybe you experience just a little bit of separation, but you step into hardcore alignment, unity, consciousness, you're going to experience the depths of separation. Now, sometimes that's with someone else, but most of the time what's going to happen when you step into a more authentic version of yourself is you will witness the most inauthentic version of yourself. But in the moment, it can really catch you off guard. So here I'm going to share a story to kind of pull it all together. Danny and I had that great time last night, right? And then today, I'm coming in here and I was going to do a reading, right? I had a reading that I had to do today. And I needed Danny to help me put the office back in place. And y'all bear with me because sometimes it's challenging to channel, but also hold on to Brooke. And Brooke's the one that's got to tell the story while my higher self is the one that's got to channel, right? So being in both worlds at the same time, if Lauren's still in here, I bet you know what I'm talking about, right? Where like you got a foot in both worlds. So bear with me while I stay tuned into this fucking high frequency and while I let Brooke tell this story. So, you know, Brooke and Danny are like trying to put the office back together, right? And she sits down and she's like, hey, can you fix the lights for me? There is shadow all on my face, whatever. And he's like, okay. So he goes and he starts fixing the lights and they didn't end up in the right place. There was still a shadow on my face. And I'm like telling him like, no, it's not in the right spot. Can you just put it back to where it was before we did the party last night? And he's like trying to tell me that it's in the same spot. And I'm like, no, it's not in the same spot because it's by the door and it was by the desk, right? This whole fucking shit show. Okay. Well, actually, it didn't start off that way, but I noticed initially that he was just like irritated with helping me with the light. And like, I noticed that he's like kind of being a dick, but I'm like, and like being rude or he just didn't want to do it. I don't know. That's what it seemed like. And I'm like, whatever. And then the more we're trying to figure out where this fucking light goes and how it needs to be situated so that it's shining in my face, the more frustrated he's getting, the more ramped up his energy's getting, and I can feel it. And then finally, I'm just like, what is your problem? Like, why do you have such an attitude? And then he goes in and he's like, I don't have an attitude, and denying it all and right, whatever. So then that leads into this fight. Hardcore fucking fight, literally, where I get up and like, I just push the chair to the fucking wall over there and I'm like, yelling and he's fucking yelling and we're screaming at each other. Danny does not scream. Okay? Danny does not holler. So that was another red flag to me. Like, what is this energy? What is going on right now, right? And like in the moment, it's just a mess. But, you know, him and I both took time to discuss, to reflect, to give each other a moment to kind of speak on what their experience was. What was your experience, Daddy? Brooke, what was your experience? So, blow up, right? Me and him are fucking arguing or cussing. Well, you fucking do it then. Doors are slamming. Chairs are being pushed across the floor like shit show. Okay? So we let it go for a minute. I came upstairs to do my thing. Danny left, went downstairs to do his thing, and we just kind of let it all relax for a minute. And then, you know, after a while, I sat up here by myself, and then Spirit was like, okay, it's time for you to go downstairs. And I'm like, okay. Because Danny's the type of person that sometimes he's a Cancer. Sometimes I do kind of have to pry open his shell. Okay, and I promise I have a point. Bear with me. So usually I am the one, like after an argument, sometimes he just wants to let it go, but we have both learned that when something like that happens, Spirit's trying to tell us something, because that does not happen for no reason. We do not treat each other that way. We do not speak to each other that way. So what was going on? What was that energy? Who the fuck was having that conversation? Because it wasn't Brooke and Danny. What was going on? So I go downstairs and I'm like, okay, it's time to talk about it. And I proceed to ask him, like, what just happened, right? And I'm not going to even go into the whole conversation. I'm just going to get to the point of this story. I share my experience and what was happening, how I perceived everything that went down, why I got angry, okay? I gave him a minute and he explained his perspective, how he felt, how he was perceiving me and what was going on. And this is what we came to. And this is a beautiful example of this full moon energy in Taurus and how it can reveal your hidden behavior, how it can reveal the parts of you that are sabotaging you, and how you see an enemy when there is a friend because you are running from your shadow or because your shadow isn't healed. What happened was Danny was frustrated. He didn't want to help me with the lights. Not just because he didn't want to, but he had some stuff going on. I don't think he quite knew that he had something going on until, boom, that shit happened. And then it was like, oh, okay. I feel it now. I see it now. So Danny was perceiving me as not appreciating him. No matter what he did, it wasn't good enough. No matter how he moved the light, it wasn't good enough. He was looking back at last night and the beautiful birthday party that he threw me. And all he could see was how he made one mistake. 3.5 fucking hours long. There was one part of the video where my audio messed up in the very beginning, and that was it. And he says that there were other issues and things that happened, that he fucked up. Did any of y'all see him? It was so much fun, but all he could see was the parts where he felt like a failure. All he could see was the parts where he fucked up. And all he could see from me was that I didn't appreciate him. that whatever he does, it's not enough. He didn't feel appreciated. He didn't feel worthy. He felt like a fuck up. He got mad at me, was screaming, yelling, ends up crying, and just completely defeated when I walked downstairs after we had a talk and we shared our perspectives. He starts crying because he felt so defeated. And he didn't understand why I didn't appreciate him. He didn't understand why he wasn't good enough. He didn't understand why he was such a fucking failure, why I was a fuck up. And none of it was true. When he was helping me with the light, he felt like I was being pushy. He felt like I was overwhelming him. He felt like he had to stop what he was doing and do what I wanted right then and there. And here's what I want to say to you. How often do you do that? I never said to him that I didn't appreciate him. I told him thank you multiple times. But how often do we perceive someone and think they're an enemy? Think that they don't appreciate us? But are they saying that to you? Right? I never said, Danny, I don't appreciate you. I never said, Danny, put your shit down and do what I want you to do right now. I never said, Danny, seriously? You fucked up the audio during my birthday? You know what I said? I am so in love with you. I am so fulfilled with you. My birthday was the best birthday I have ever had in my life, and I could not have done it without you. You are so amazing. You are so talented. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. But you know what he heard? I'm not good enough. I'm a fuck up. No one appreciates me. Isn't that crazy? But you know what? It was a part of him that needed to be revealed. A part of maybe his inner child that he is still holding on to that makes him feel like he's not appreciated, like he's not loved, like he's not good enough, and it's not fucking true. And when we hold on to things like that, we see an enemy where it is our lover. We see a foe where it is our friend. We see separation when we are unity consciousness. And it can tear our lives apart. It can tear us apart from the inside out. It can take something so magical, so beautiful, and it can turn it into the just most demonic, fucked up thing if we let it. But you know what I told Danny tonight? I said, baby. I sat down beside him and I held him when he was upset and he was crying, and I kissed him on the forehead and I kissed him on his cheek, and I'm just holding him and I'm just kissing him and talking to him at the same time. I'm so thankful for you, and I kiss him. I appreciate you so much, and I kiss him. You are so talented, and I kiss him. My fucking twin flame, and I kiss him. You are so worthy. You are incredible. And I kiss him. And I said, baby, you've got to do one thing for me. That person that you saw, where when all that's going down, you're thinking, I'm pushy. I don't appreciate you. I don't care. You're fuck up. That whole version of me that you were seeing, that your shadow was creating this filter, your wound was creating this filter that turned me into a monster. It hurts me, for one, right? Doesn't it hurt when someone doesn't see how much you love them? When someone doesn't see how much you fucking value them? how important and significant they are in your life, and all they do is just keep sabotaging themselves and sabotaging the relationship. It hurts, right? When people make you out to be this monster, when you're just trying to love them, but they can't see the love, they only see a monster because of their wounds. It's fucking hard, right? It's a hard journey. But you know what I told him? I said, babe, when you know me, you know how much I love you. I have proven to you over and over and over again how much I love you. How special you are to me. How fucking beautiful I think you are. How smart. So when you start to see me as that monster, I need you to question that. And that's all I ask for. When you start to see your twin flame, the other part of your soul, as a monster, I need you to question that. Don't believe it. Don't give in to that. Because it hurts us both. Can you do that for me? Because you know who I am, baby. But if you don't question it, and you allow me to become that, do you see what it does? It breaks my heart and it breaks yours too. But all of that can be avoided, can be resolved when we question what is hidden. When we find the courage and the will to express how we're feeling. And just those little things alone, expressing our shadow, giving our shadow a voice, not running from the parts of ourselves that we have deemed as unworthy or nasty or gross or a failure, exploring those parts of ourselves that we run from with curiosity, because they have the key that is going to empower you. And I can promise you that if you're willing to go on the journey. But sometimes these journeys aren't meant to go, you're not meant to go on them alone, right? I need a break. Do y'all feel me though? And do you see how things can get so misconstrued? If we never would have had that conversation, y'all, Danny may have still believed that I didn't appreciate him. And I told him, whatever that voice is in your head that's saying these things, that tells you that I don't appreciate you, that tells you you're a failure, that you fucked up, whoever that voice is, question it. But if Danny and I never would have had that conversation, I might still be that monster, right? And I might not even, if he would not have had the courage to open up to me when he felt vulnerable, when he felt triggered, that's the thing. This beautiful human being, when he feels triggered, he lets me in. How many people can say that when you're feeling triggered? Do you let someone in? Do you surrender your ego and say, look at me, embrace me as I am. I surrender to your love. That is twin flame union. When you can be in the pits of your ego, triggered, and you can still surrender to your beloved, to love. I keep getting back on it. But Jesus, was there anything that you wanted to say specifically? I'm gonna look at the chat for a second, because I know I just been fucking rolling. Where my drink at? I didn't bring no drink in here. I made some drink, I just didn't bring it in here. My pet monster. Wow. I know, baby. I know. You had people throughout your whole life make you feel that way. However, we do have to take responsibility if we continue to keep accepting it, right? And it just starts sometimes with just questioning it. That's the courage that it takes to heal. Just questioning it. And sometimes that's all it takes to open you up to the clarity that you need, to what's in the way, to what the fuck is going on, right? So, let's see. I feel panicked about that. You feel panicked about what, Kimberly? My pet monster. Jeez. Anyways, I wonder if there's anything else. I think that's about it. But it is crazy. It just blows my mind how distorted things can be. But as soon as we just take a look, how crazy things can change. How different things can be. As panicked as it makes you feel about opening up, and I get it, but once you open up, can you imagine a life without any kind of panic? That's the freedom that is available through trusting yourself to be authentically you. Some of you maybe that have panic attacks, can you imagine a life where you didn't have panic attacks? Because you know what that is most of the time? A panic attack. It's just suppressed energy, built up energy in the body, energy that's not being expressed or processed or observed or nurtured or communicated, and it builds up and it causes a panic attack. So if we give that part of ourselves some kind of a channel, even if that's in solitude, right? Even if that channel is just sitting up here, right? Talking about some things that are going on. It allows that energy to be expressed rather than suppressed, and then that causes a panic attack. Good, Kimberly. I'm so glad. Because I never know where they're going to take me, man. I never know where they're going to take us. I don't. And I just like pray, you know, Spirit knows what y'all need to hear. And I show up because I fucking love you guys. I believe in you. I really, truly, I don't even believe in you. I know in you, baby. It's not a belief for me. It's a knowing. I know in you. I got, real quick, I got a new deck today for us. I got a new deck for us. The Divine Feminine Oracle. Y'all know I love me some Megan Watterson. That's my fucking bitch. I love her so much. This is, Megan Watterson is the author of Mary Magdalene Revealed, the book that I love so much. But yeah, I got some new cards for the channel for us. Look at them. Aren't they beautiful? The Diamond-Hearted Dakini. I see the light in my own darkness. I face my ego beliefs to feel free. Boom. Look at that. I see the light in my own darkness. I face my ego beliefs to feel free. Beautiful. Oh, look at her. Mio-shan, the Princess of Mercy. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. Oh, look at her. That's a lot of wisdom in that woman. Rita of Sika, the patroness of impossible causes. I am miraculous. My prayers create powerful channels of possibility. And then I got another deck, you guys. I got us 2 decks for the channel. Tarot of Oppositions. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. This deck, though, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, this deck literally weighs like a fucking pound. It's crazy. Ooh, the High Priestess. Look at her. She's beautiful. And it's like dual-sided, right? Come on, Empress of Duality with the dual deck. Like, here's one side of it, and then you flip it, and there's another side. Let me show you one that's like got a drastic change. Okay, here we go. Queen of Swords. There's one side, and now check out this other side. Interesting, right? Whole different energy to the Queen of Swords. It's really fucking cool. Ooh, check this out. Death card. See that side? And then watch. Drastic change of energy, isn't it? Anyways, so that's what we have to look forward to on the channel. Some new decks. Page of Wands. The other side of the Page of Wands. Okay. Anyways, all right, y'all. Don't forget to drop a like for your girl. Wow, look at the difference in this one. 7 of Pentacles. All right, she look happy. She looks like she's living her best life. She got some options on the table. Now look at it. Now look at this side. Damn. She looks all fucked up. I don't know what to do. There's too many options. I want to be her, but I can't be her because I'm too scared to be her. Options overwhelm me. Right? Anyways, this is going to be so much fun. Okay. Can't wait to use my new decks for you guys. Like they're going to be some powerful messages. But anyways, all right, y'all. I think that's about it. Thank you to every amount of source energy that goes into guiding, loving, protecting, and supporting us along our journeys. Shout out to Master Jesus Christ Consciousness. Shout out to Master Mary Magdalene, Unity Consciousness, the union of Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine energy in this space. All right, y'all. I'm out. I'll see y'all soon. Y'all know y'all see me soon. And I hope y'all have a good night. Be careful with the full moon in Taurus. If it does reveal, you know, this, don't get discouraged, right? If you've been doing good and it's just like, boom, you have this contradicting fucking experience out of nowhere where it's just like shit hits the fan. It's okay. Breathe. Explore it with curiosity because I promise you there are some nuggets of gold in there for you, okay? I love you. I will see you soon. Empress of Duality. Hold on, wait. No, not yet. Empress of Duality. Out.